When do you know when it's time to throw in the towel? Hello, this is Berzinsky for Beardbrand Alliance. Let's talk about terminal growth compared to optimal growth. To throw in the towel comes from the boxing world. You're in the ring, it's not going well, and you aren't giving up, but your coach, the people sitting in your corner, might decide for you that it's time to quit, so they throw in the towel, which signals to the referee it's time to call it all off. Now, I'm talking about beard growth here, not life and not certainly boxing, but in terms of your beard growth, has it reached a length that has gone beyond its welcome? And I'm not talking here about shaving off your beard. I'm talking about what is the best length of your beard. Are you going for a length that's approaching terminal length? Talk about that in a minute. When you should be going for a length that is optimal. Let's unpack those two things. Your terminal length is the maximum length that your beard can get. We talk about hairs going terminal. It's hair all over your body. And they have a preconceived or pre-genetic disposition to grow a certain length. Your eyebrows are only going to grow maybe up to 1 inch long. And in the case of an older guy, 1.5 inches long. The hair in your head might grow up to 7 years. Your beard hair might grow anywhere from as short as 3 months. If you're just starting out growing a beard, say you're around 16, 17, 18, to 7 years. We find that most guys' beards stop growing at really about a year, maybe 2 years. That's the majority of guys. You do get those blessed guys who continue to grow, where you get the big ZZ top beard, and you get these big show beards that grow down to the waist. But you'll see that guys' beards typically start to thin out and start to look scraggly at about a year. We saw that recently with our own Eric, where he spent 14 months growing out a beard. So put in a couple of bonus months, which we thank you for. But we saw his beard starting to look a little thinner at the bottom. So his beard was reaching its terminal length, which meant that some of the hairs were stopping their growth cycles before some of the other ones. A lot of guys might be going for length, going for the beard, and we want to encourage you, if that's something you want to do, go for it. Maybe one time in your life, you should actually see what is the maximum potential of your beard. And in Eric's case, we saw his beard looking really good 6, 7, 8, 9 months. And then personally, sorry Eric, I thought your beard started looking a little thin at the bottom, and I think you would agree that it was going terminal. Recently, we saw those great clips of Eric shaving off his beard in different stages, and I really think the power beard for Eric, where he took off just a few inches on the bottom, to the point where the hairs actually are not going terminal. So a point I think on Eric that was about maybe month 9 or month 8. Correct me if I'm wrong there. So what is your terminal length? You might not ever know that if you don't keep growing it. But as I said before, most guys are probably within a year. So the issue is here, are you continuing to grow a beard in hopes that it will get thicker, in hopes that it'll get longer, when in reality, your genetics have dictated that your beard really is at its maximum length? And not all hairs grow to the same length. I think in general, I don't know what the percentage would be, but the majority of your hairs have a cycle. And in the case of beard hair, it might be anywhere from 8 months to about 18 months. And those hairs stop growing, they rest for a little bit, and then they're shed as new hairs are pushing out. So that cycle is determining the length of your hair. And if your hair is growing about 1/2 inch a month, in the course of about a year, your beard's going to grow about 6 inches, and 18 months about 9 inches. And in most cases, that's about as long as most guys' beards are going to get before they look straggly. So the straggly look is because your hair is growing and it reaches its terminal length, and then the hairs are shedding. And they're reaching the terminal length, they're shedding, and so at the bottom you see what appears to be thinner, a little transparent, a little scraggly at the end. And so what I see is a lot of guys in hopes that their beard will continue to get thicker or continue to get more dense or longer. They don't see the fact that their beard is actually slowing down its growth and that it has gone terminal. I talked before about optimal. So the optimal length of your beard, and we're talking about in its max condition. So in Eric's case, using him as an example, I really think that optimal length is probably back at about the 10-month point and not the 14-month point, where he gets those all cut up, where it's nice and blunt, and it looks as dense and thick as possible. So why do guys continue to grow their beards when, in reality, they start looking thinner at the bottom? I would hope that I would have friends who would tell me, hey, your beard's looking a little wispy, a little thin. A lot of times we can't see it ourselves, and that's the problem. I see it in my own pictures when I take a lot of photographs, and I see, hey, my beard's starting to not look as good at the bottom. Have I reached a terminal length? So on me, the optimal length, or the optimal length on everyone, I'm not talking about what is your preferred length. The optimal length, I think, is the densest your beard can be without it starting to look wispy at the bottom. So prior to it going terminal, it's its max thickness, it's its max length. That would be the optimal length. You might prefer your beard shorter, and that's a preference. So in my case, what is my terminal length compared to the optimal length? I don't think I have reached my terminal length. My beard is representing, as I've said lately, probably about 10 months of growth. The hair's reaching almost 5 inches here, and I've had several trims. So it's probably about 10 months of growth. Got the big, not a big beard trim. I grew my beard back and had my last real beard trim from Jake the Barber back in February, where he just really cleaned it up. And I've taken little bits off over the course of this past year just to even it up a little bit. But this is about as much as my beard is growing in about 10 months of growth. Is this my terminal length? And I actually think it is not my terminal length. I think I probably have some more on here. I have actually maybe gone about 1 inch longer than this, so about 2 more months. So in that range, probably reaching about 1 year in length is the max I've ever gone. Even at that length, I don't think that was terminal. But does my beard look best? And this is something for you to think about. Does your beard look best at a particular length? And at this length, I don't think this is the best length for my beard. Now people will say, hey, your beard looks good. I like it longer compared to when it's shorter. But that's where it comes back to, like, what is the optimal length where my beard looks most healthy, most dense, most thick? And I would actually say that that is a bit shorter than this. At least 1 inch shorter than this would be that optimal length where it does look most dense. Now I'm saying that after saying that I don't think my beard has reached terminal. There's areas on my face that I do think have reached terminal. Obviously, man's mustache does not grow at the same length as their beard. You rarely see guys who have mustaches that are inches long. Most guys' mustaches, and we've seen that from Carlos and from Eric, and from myself, will stop growing at maybe 2 or 3 inches, representing about 6 months of growth. And then you see a significant slowdown in the mustache. I think that's just how we were designed, that your mustache gets a little shorter so you can continue to eat food without getting all that hair in your mouth. I think it's part of intelligent design. My beard, I think there's areas on it, like the mustache, but also on the sides of my beard here, have nowhere near the length that the front of my beard has. So these are going terminal way before the front of my beard. So if I back the length of my beard up to, say, here, you can see the difference there, that would meet where these hairs are on the side. So it would say that I should be losing this hair in the front to reach the most dense, thick look, that optimal length. What is my preferred length? I think we're going to see this coming up very shortly. I'm going to do some cutting. I actually grew the beard as part of the holiday season, and to do some work around Christmas time, dressed as Santa Claus. And so I wanted to have as big a beard as possible. And you can actually see that picture here with our friend Jake the barber, and a little video clip that I hope you'll be able to see here and on Instagram. But I think my preferred length will be a beard that's shorter than this. So stay tuned, and you'll see me go through maybe a couple of phases getting to my preferred beard length. I'm probably going to do a cut right where I consider optimal, so I'll bring that back to you to talk about what terminal, what is optimal, and then what is my preferred beard length. So has your beard overstayed its welcome? And so I'm not talking about shaving, I'm talking about has the beard length overstayed its welcome, and is your beard length doing the best for your visual appearance? And a lot of times it's best to cut your beard back. And that's something that guys, like, I don't want to cut my beard. I've been growing it. But in reality, it will look better sometimes if you step back and say, hey, it is wispy down here. Let's cut it back. It's going to look denser. And a lot of times it'll actually look longer. There's this weird thing that happens when you have this wispy beard, you cut it off, all of a sudden you get this more massive mass down here. And people sometimes, after I get a big beard cut, people will say, wow, your beard's gotten really long. And in reality, I just cut it. And that's just because it looks thick and healthy. So please comment below and tell us if your beard has reached terminal, and if you're reluctant to cut it back to its optimal length. And then what is your preferred length? I'd like to wish you all the best of the holiday season. And until we meet again,
Stop. Before you watch the next video, let me tell you, you are worth it. And what do I mean by that? I mean that you deserve to invest in yourself. You deserve to pamper yourself. You deserve to take care of your skin, your hair, your beard, and Beardbrand has your back with products, not just for your hair, your beard, and your skin, but also for your mind.